Welcome to the coolest stuff on the planet.
Well, hello, good afternoon, good evening, good morning to you. This is Matthew, and over here to my right and your audible center is
Rachel, of course. And this is the coolest stuff on the planet.
Yes. Today's topic takes us back to Alaska, a favorite haunt of ours. Now, Lizzie, if you could kindly zoom us down, there you go, to the southeastern area. Oh, excellent work. Thank you, and good tidings to you. Now, this modest little strip of land that Lizzie has taken us to between Canada and the Pacific is called the Alaska Panhandle.
Mm-hmm. And our topic related to the Alaska Panhandle has two parts. We're going to look at glaciers and whales. Mm-hmm. Not a bad combination. First, let's talk about glaciers, Matt.
Okay.
So, Alaska is kind of a glacier paradise, sort of. Glaciers like to hang out there. According to the Department of Natural Resources of Alaska, glaciers cover about 3% of Alaska, and there are about 100,000 of them.
That's a lot of them. Southeast Alaska in particular is chock full of these chilly fellows, and there are two major areas where they reside. You've got the Glacier Bay National Park and Preserve and the Tongass National Forest.
Mm-hmm. Glacier Bay is this really beautiful area with a wide range of natural habitats. You've got a mix of very tall mountains, wilderness area that's been exposed by retreating glaciers, some very recently. Lots of fjords and inlets, and lots of glaciers.
Yes. The Tongass National Forest is the largest national forest in the United States, weighing in at a staggering 17 million acres. I guess you should say area-ing in, but it doesn't sound as good as weighing in.
Indeed.
It's teeming with islands, trees, wildlife, precipitation, and yes, glaciers. But Rachel, how do glaciers work?
I knew you were going to ask me that.
I'm sorry, you're the expert here.
Well, if I could explain glaciers in a nutshell, they're pretty interesting, actually. Mm-hmm. Basically, a glacier is an area where more snowfall accumulates than melts.
Okay.
And it has to go from a high elevation to a low elevation.
So it has to slide downwards.
Yes. There's a little bit more to it than that, but we have a lovely article on howstuffworks.com called How Glaciers Work that will help explain the details.
That would make sense. Further knowledge, everyone. Further your knowledge.
Okay, so Matt, there are multiple kinds of glaciers in the world and in Alaska, but I think tidewater glaciers might be the most interesting.
Oh, yes.
Basically, a tidewater glacier is one that it flows down to the sea, and chunks of it fall into the sea. And Glacier Bay, for example, is home to 16 tidewater glaciers that flow down from the mountains and into the sea.
And it's just this continuous build up and flow out into the sea, right? So it's a nice little cycle you've got going on there. The coolest thing about these glaciers is a process called calving. Now, this is where glaciers crack and chunks of ice fall into the waters of the bay. Apparently, these glaciers make a huge cracking sound when they calve. I can't really do it for you. You'll have to go and watch a video and listen to it, because there are some videos you can find online where you actually hear the sound.
It's I don't know, great. Matt. I'd like to watch you channel a glacier.
Okay, here it goes. Splash.
Nice. There it is. You know, if any of you out there have actually heard this sound, it would be cool if you would write in to us and tell us what it really sounds like.
I'm sure, yeah.
And how close Matt was.
And that was not close at all. Well, anyway, it's an impressive sound. But speaking of calving,
pun intended. That was totally me. So, and that brings us back to whales. Mm-hmm. And that pun was totally my fault, by the way. So everyone can blame me. I'm a punster. So in the summer, Southeast Alaska is a very popular stop for migrating humpback whales, who stop there to dine on the krill that are abundant in the waters at the time. And fun fact about humpback whales, we always like to do fun whale facts because they're a whale of a lot of fun. You know?
Oh, God.
But, so fun fact, they have the largest pectoral fin or flipper of any baleen whale. And so we're talking from end to end. This flipper can measure 17 feet long.
For some perspective, the whale's body length averages 50 feet. And another fun fact, The humpback whale is also one of the most playful and acrobatic of all the whales.
Yeah, apparently they really like to jump out of the water. They like to slap their tail flukes on the water. They're having a good time there in the water.
Gonna get some listener mail, I believe?
That's right. It's time for some listener mail.
All right.
So this email comes to us from Tyler, not our producer Tyler, but a different Tyler. And he says, "Hi, Matt and Rachel. I have a very special favor to ask. Sometime this summer, I will be going to New Mexico to see my dad for the first time ever, and I have barely ever been out of Iowa. I was wondering if you could find anything cool about New Mexico for me. I really enjoy your podcasts and keep them coming. Thanks, Tyler."
Excellent.
Well, thanks for that, Tyler, and we're on that. We will look for some cool places in New Mexico for you.
We will. And in the meantime, Tyler, if you want to check out more information on New Mexico, there's stuff on howstuffworks.com, or Google it.
For more on this and thousands of other topics, visit howstuffworks.com and let us know what you think. Email travelpodcast@howstuffworks.com. Don't forget to check out our other podcasts, free on iTunes.